Uh, guys, I kind of overslept. Uh, I was supposed to be there. Um, um, how many hours ago? Oh, 4 hours ago. Yeah, I kind of fell asleep. Uh, so I missed it, the voice acting thing. But it was actually recording. I'm guessing multiple people were gonna join in. I don't know why, but I thought it was gonna be like a one-on-one thing. Like he's gonna be like in a one-on-one call with me, teaching me personally. Like, wow, what an imagination. So instead of doing that, we're gonna learn how to voice act right now, since there's a video left over. So yeah, why not? Why not, man? Why not? That's this whole new era I'm in. Just a why not, man. The why not. So yeah, let's learn how to voice act. Oh yeah. Okay. I don't have the chat here, just in case someone types, because people do that now. Well, they've always done that, but yeah. Why did, why is it this? Okay. I gotta change the chat box, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Chat notifications. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna learn how to voice act, guys. We're gonna learn. Oh yeah. Are you guys ready? Watch this. Hold on. Hold on. I don't know if this is illegal or not, but hey, this is free. So, and a lot of people join at the same time. So yeah. This is, hold on. Okay, got myself out of the way. This is a voice acting masterclass. Learnvoiceacting.com. I'll put the website in the description because it's pretty cool. Haven't seen anything about it yet, but yeah, sounds fun. Voice acting masterclass. Turn your voice into vocation. Ooh, what does that mean? We'll learn. What's a live stream? I can't use any of the shortcuts.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. It is so great to have you guys here. We're going to have a ton of fun today. We're talking about one of the most fun careers in the world, and that
Really?
is voice acting. It is an absolute privilege and a pleasure to be in this career, and I'm excited for all of you that are starting your journey. I want to be really, really respectful of your time. You're giving me your one non renewable asset, which is time. And so I want to make sure I am making great use of that. I don't want to delay. I want to get right into the stuff. So let's talk.
I feel so much more bad, man. I didn't even mean to oversleep either. Dude, like, okay, what happened was, hold on. Should I recreate this? Can I recreate this? Yeah, you know what? I'll recreate this. Hold on. How's this gonna work? This might take a lot. This might be a bad idea, but okay, let's see. My PC. My PC. Oh, hello? Okay. Okay, basically, what happened? Oh wow, full screen Fat Rat, that's weird. Uh, yeah. Basically what happened was I was just, man, one day, that was today, not one day. Okay, basically after the last stream, I walked around a little bit, got some more water over there. Can't see it, but got more water. And I had like a SpongeBob video playing in my headphones while walking around. And this bed looks so comfortable, man. Oh, whoa, whoa. You're still a little sleepy. Look. a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle bed. It looked comfy. So I just like. Yeah, I sat down for. Oh, sorry. I laid down like that for a couple minutes. I was pretty comfortable. And next thing I knew, I was asleep. And yeah, I woke up 4 hours later than I was supposed to. I'm so sorry to this guy. I'm so sorry. Wait, now I have to fix it. Oh no. Oh no. My PC. Oh, so small. Hold on. This one, I gotta fix it. Gotta fix webcam. That one is 15. 15 what? 15 by 70. Okay. 75. Okay. This is 785. 785. Okay. Oh, no. 785, man. No. 785. I'm sorry. Wait, I have to get it right. I have to get it right. Okay, so this is gonna be slightly larger, bro. But yeah. Okay. Let's continue voice acting. Yeah. I wasted enough time.
Talk about the big deal for today.
Big deal?
I went from a military intelligence officer for the
Oh,
United
wow.
States Air Force to a full-time voice actor with no acting background, no training, no demos, no agents, and no
8
experience
months?
in 8 months, using the discipline I got in the military to kind of break open the voice acting industry and complete over 8,000 jobs in under 10 years. I did the hard work for you, and I created what I'm calling my Hollywood hack system to teach anyone how to do the same thing without spending thousands of dollars on coaching or workshops, and without, and this is a big without, moving to Los Angeles. This is the same method that let one of my students,
Wait.
Quentin, nail 6 bookings in just a few months.
Without moving to what? LA? Did you say LA? I don't. Yeah. Is that something people think they have to do for voice acting? Are you serious? Moving somewhere else? Are you kidding me?
And let Della
What?
land a 4th agent, which I guess 3 weren't enough. She's an overachiever, whatever. She's a great student. Or Canyon, who went 2 for 2 for auditions, got sick, but like booked. That's a ridiculous 100% booking rate. I love it. We'll talk about me in a second, right? Obviously, I need to introduce myself, explain to you guys why you should even bother listening to me. But I'm not actually really the important one here.
Oh,
You
man.
guys are the important ones here. So let me take a couple seconds talking about you. So who's this masterclass for?
I don't know.
This is for people who want to use their voice to
Oh.
tell stories and make money. That's it, right? And that is really broad on purpose.
Fair enough.
Because, as I'll explain to you over the course of this masterclass, there's a lot out there. We're talking anime. We're talking video games, cartoon voices, commercial, or promo.
E-learning.
Corporate, e-learning.
What?
This is for you if you're inspired by those things, those character things. This is for you if you want to learn how to make some money as a side hustle with just your voice. You always wanted to hear your voice coming out of the TV on a commercial, or you want a full career out of it. You can make a full career out of this, absolutely. You can work for yourself. This is for you if you want to work for yourself on your own time. If you love the idea of helping people tell their stories.
Yeah, that
That's
sounds
huge
fire,
for
man.
me.
That's actually sounds fire.
You want big return on investment behind the microphone, right? You're making good dollars per minute that you are behind this microphone.
Really?
Or if you just want to be in an incredible industry, full of incredible people with way less ego and stress than the on-camera industry. And if you're an on-camera actor, I'm sorry, but you probably know it's true.
Oh.
And it's also a nice bonus. And this is for you if you just want to have that moment where you're impressing your family and friends because you go, "That's me," when your voice comes out of like a Super Bowl ad.
I don't
Comes
think
out,
that'll ever
in the
happen.
middle of a party on Pandora.
It's not gonna happen.
You go to the movies and hear your voice pop out of the screen as a background actor or something like that. Let me
That'd be
tell you from
cool.
experience, that's a pretty cool feeling.
Wow.
And it doesn't matter if you don't have experience. In some ways, it's kind of better. That's what I'm here
What?
for. If you've tried on your own, there's a good chance you've felt frustrated, confused, lost.
Oh.
Okay? So this is for you if you've ever felt those kinds of frustrations.
Oh, okay.
Man, I have no idea where to start. This industry is very mercurial. A
Mer-
word I don't use very often,
Mercurial?
except when I'm talking about the voice acting industry.
Hold on, I'm gonna search up what that means. Mercurial. Hold on. How do you spell that? Mercurial. I almost spelled it right. Mercurial of or relating to the god Mercury? What? Having qualities of eloquence, ingenuity, or changeability? Oh. Oh, man. I'm still tired. Wow. Okay. Was it gonna... Wait. Okay. Yeah, wait, got it back on. Alright.
This is for you if you're frustrated because you think you got to pick your life up and move to Los Angeles or New York.
Who'd think that, man?
If you're frustrated and scared because you're intimidated by all this technical stuff, sometimes even just looking at a microphone like this can intimidate people. It looks weird. There's this silver thing in front. It's long. It's strange.
Whoa.
That's not what I know a microphone look like. How much is it going to cost to build a studio? I can't afford that. That's frustrating. That's scary. Or on the other end, you think all the voice acting jobs are going to go to Chris Pratt, right?
Oh.
Or celebrities, or people that are already established in the industry. There's not enough room for you in the industry, right? That's frustrating. Or the frustrations are coming from here. You don't have the confidence. You don't think you have a good voice.
Wow.
Getting behind a microphone can be a scary thing if you think that way. You're like, oh man, I don't have a theater degree. I've never taken an acting class. How could I possibly get into this industry?
Bullseye, man.
You think, like most people do, that the only way to get into this industry is by spending thousands of dollars on one-on-one coaching.
Is that really?
Or workshops.
Is that really what
Dropping
people think?
$5,000 on a professionally made demo.
Wow.
Those are big barriers, right? And all those frustrations are totally valid. Totally valid. Everyone has them. It might sound like I'm casting a wide net here, right? But there are definitely some people that this masterclass is not for, that this industry is not for.
Oh.
This industry is not for people looking for a get-rich-quick scheme.
Yeah, no.
Most industries aren't, even if they sound that way. Everything takes hard work, right? And if you're here, you're probably the kind of person that's ready to put it in anyway. So
What? What is it? Wait, what do you mean by that?
it's not for people not willing to put in the work to master those skills.
Work.
This masterclass is not for people who aren't willing to take responsibility, to take agency, a sense of agency, right? I teach this all the time. Own your career. You will always be the most passionate advocate of your career. So people that are like, just want to blame everything on everybody else, expect the work just to kind of come to them, this
Never
probably
works
isn't
like
for
that.
you.
Yeah.
Or if you're just too cynical, you can't accept that there's a positive side to this. Might not be for you. But I'm sort of guessing that if you're here, you're the type of person that's going to benefit from this.
Really?
Okay? All right,
Wow.
so we've talked a little bit about you.
Really?
You're here to listen to some stranger tell you to break into the voice acting industry. So let me stop. Let's stop being strangers, okay? My name's Joe Zija.
Hello.
Sounds just like zebra, but not.
Hello,
Weird last name. I don't know. I like it.
Soji.
My name is Joe Zija.
Josie,
and
wow.
I do not have a typical career story, okay? I'm a United States Air Force Academy graduate.
Wow.
Which means I went to the Air Force Academy in Colorado. I graduated top 1% military performance distinction, and I was a military intelligence officer for most of my adult life.
Hmm.
I worked with the CIA and FBI
Impressive.
after my military service. And then all of a sudden, 10 years later, I've completed 8,000 voice acting jobs, 60,000 plus auditions, and I have 150 IMDb credits. Franchises and
Impressive.
companies that everybody knows. Nintendo, Transformers, Incredibles, the movie. Yes,
Genshin
Final
Impact.
Fantasy, Fire Emblem, Genshin Impact, Lego City Adventures, Home Goods, thousands more.
Lego City Adventures? What?
Whoa. What a bizarre story.
That is pretty bizarre, man.
If this already doesn't sound like your typical acting path, you're right, and it gets weirder. But that's why my method and my career are pretty unique.
Okay.
I had 0 formal acting training, but a good amount of training in human behavior, which is basically acting.
Human behavior?
The military discipline and tactics that I learned throughout my former career, it can be used in artistic situations without sacrificing the art. That's the clincher.
I can see.
Mission,
I can see that.
and the mission of learnvoiceacting.com, which I founded,
To simplify the voice acting
is to
industry.
simplify the voice acting industry,
Hmm.
make it accessible for anyone with a passion for storytelling, and empower new voice actors to take control of their own careers.
Interesting, man.
If I can break down, because I used to teach younger airmen as a senior intelligence officer as well, as part of my duties. And if I can break down radar theory, I'm sure I can break down voice acting.
I don't know what radar
I
theory
did
is.
not use the Hollywood method to make deep 6 figures a year as a voice actor, okay? I used my method with an added bonus of really making theater majors at UCLA angry, which is just, I don't know, it can be kind of fun.
Oh, wow.
I've taught over 5,180 students with a 99% satisfaction rate. The
Okay.
5,181st who wasn't satisfied, he was a jerk anyway.
Oh, wow.
But seriously, no, it's
Okay.
been that many students. It's been that many students, and I've seen some absolutely incredible stories.
Am I considered a student now?
So that's who I am. And to kind of kick this off, because I've already talked about how weird my career has been, I want to talk about the one audition that changed my life.
Oh, let's hear it.
I was an Air Force reservist, and I was sitting in an empty office. Because if you know anything about the reserves, they're often attached to active duty units. It doesn't matter for you guys. I was the only person in the office on a Saturday morning, and so I was BSing with a friend of mine on chat. And I was like, man, you know what I've always wanted to try to do? Voice acting. Obviously a question that I'm sure you guys have asked yourselves or told a friend. I've always wanted to try that. Right?
Yeah, not
But I
gonna lie. When I see people, like I watch Lythero and stuff sometimes. Lythero and people that voice act in video games, man, that don't have voice acting in them. But they voice act with their friends. And they're so good at it. They're having such fun, man. It's amazing. It's pretty cool. I actually like that a lot. I wish I could have that many people and voice act some games, but nah,
The
can't.
little nugget.
I
My
can't.
friend. Oh, yeah. My company used to hire marketing people from this website. Why don't you go check it out? So I went and checked it out.
Okay.
Pretty interesting. There was like this whole world out there that I wasn't even aware of that was an actual career or an actual industry. And there it was. And all I needed was a small nugget of information. And bam, it all got unlocked.
Really?
This here is a picture of the very first audition I auditioned for.
Voice actor for kids
And
game?
bizarrely, I booked it. Now, not your typical voice acting job. It's a cartoon panda speaking Arabic to children. I happen to have some Arabic knowledge from my days in intelligence.
Fire.
But
Voice
whoa,
match, 65%? Wait,
Someone
what?
paid me $100 for 10 minutes of my time.
Whoa.
What? That's $600 an hour. How do I do that again? And I did it on a microphone that was $67.
Impressive.
Not some billion-dollar studio here, guys. Right? I booked that first job on a mic. I actually won the mic in a contest a year before.
Oh, wow.
After that, I tackled it with religious zealousness. That was the one audition that changed my life. And it's never been the same since. And it's been awesome.
That's inspirational, man. Not gonna lie.
That's the big secret, guys.
What?
That's
Passion.
the big thing. The voice acting industry is thousands of times bigger than you think it is. In fact, the part of the industry that makes the most money doesn't even come from agents. The video game industry, for example, this is what everybody thinks of, right? It's got a value of about $180 billion.
Wow.
The e-learning industry, 3 times that.
Oh,
with
man.
voice actors playing a much larger role in e-learning than it does in video games.
What
Think
does
about how many
e-learning mean, though?
millions of man hours it takes to make a video game versus e-learning.
What does that mean,
And
though?
how much of it has voice.
Well,
The online advertising industry, $700 billion.
I could imagine,
And
man.
that doesn't include TV or radio advertising.
What?
Almost all of which includes what? Voice acting.
Hmm.
Almost none of it is in Los Angeles.
Wow.
That's the big secret, guys. That's what people don't understand about this industry, is that it is so much bigger than you think it is. Los Angeles is the home of the old way, guys. It's the voice acting industry that existed from 1940 to 2000. And all the stuff you think you know about building a voice acting career is from that old guard thinking. Can you guess what percentage of voice actors, full-time professional voice actors, do not live in Los Angeles?
97%.
It's over 80%. 80% of voice actors
Technically
don't
right.
live here. The industry is bigger, broader than you think it is. And there's room in it for you, no matter where you are, what your experience level is, whether or not you have agents or demos. And today, I'm going to tell you about not the old way, the new way. The way
Wow.
you will absolutely miss out on if you're taking advice from people that built their career in 1980, because that industry is gone. That's the old way.
Why would I be
If
taking
you
advice
stay
from?
to the end of the masterclass today, we got a couple things that I'm super excited to shoot to you. First, you're gonna get my free ebook, How to
Oh,
Get Started in Voice Acting Today. It summarizes a lot of the topics we talk about today with some additional context that I think you're gonna like. As a totally free bonus for staying to the end, I'm gonna drop a link to my vocal variable chart. This is a method I teach my students in character creation to use the vocal anatomy you already have to create an infinite number of character voices. That's a
Oh.
part of one of my larger courses, but I'm going to drop a link for free just for staying at the end of the class. And as an extra special free bonus, I'm going to give you the voice acting roadmap.
What is that?
details a path that just about anybody can take from knowing absolutely nothing about the industry to going out and booking their first job. So,
Hmm.
what is today all about?
Should we book a
My
job,
Air
guys?
Force briefing habits coming up here. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to tell you what I told you. So let me tell you what I'm going to tell you first, okay? What's
Okay.
today all about? Today we're going to go
Solidify
through
your
4
sound.
core processes.
Okay.
4 essential things that you need to know and employ if you're going to go out there and try your hand at being a voice actor.
Employ?
These aren't core processes that are just like made up. These are things that I use every day. Every day. I'm not one of those like teachers that doesn't work anymore. I book voice acting work. You can't see my booth. My booth is right there. I work every single day. Every day. I'm booking every day.
Wow.
Still. Right? These are the core part of my core processes. These 4 that I use every day to book work. So let's go over all 4 of them and then we'll dive in. First, solidify your sound. Okay? This core process is all about basic audio thresholds. If you can't pass that low bar, it doesn't matter if you're Tom Cruise, you're not booking any work. You're not going to get considered in today's marketplace.
Okay.
I'll make sure that you guys know the only 2 things, count them, 1, 2, that you need to be a voice actor.
1.
By the time we get done with that first core process, you're going to feel a lot better about the idea of building a studio on your own.
Okay.
Second core process, the awesome audition. This
Oh.
is my multi-step process that allow you to break down any piece of copy you get. It doesn't matter where it comes from, whether it's some obscure company in another country doing e-learning to Nintendo. It's the same method. You ask the same questions. You follow the same process. Doesn't matter who it's from, what it pays, or what character. Okay? The awesome audition. The audition is the
Interesting.
job, by the way, you guys. You'll spend more time auditioning than you will working. That's the career. So getting that right, critical. Third is the spectacular session. A session is when you book the job. You have a session. You get directed. We're either
Wow.
live or not live. It depends on the type of job that it is. But this is my method to make sure that every interaction you have with a client, from the moment you book that job until the moment you get paid, is so good that they'll keep asking you back again and again. Being on the short list, guys, the Rolodex.
Shirtless.
Boy, I'm dating myself there, aren't I?
Dating yourself?
I don't even. Why did he even say that? I never had a Rolodex in my life.
What?
The contact list, being this on the speed dial
Oh,
for a client. Now you're skipping the audition process. Now you're just getting paid. The spectacular session is a crucial core process.
okay.
And fourth, master your workflow. Huh? Workflow? Efficiency? What does that have to do with voiceover? Oh, this is my secret sauce, people.
Secret sauce.
This is my superpower. People ask me, like, Joe, how do you do so much? How are you a voice actor, an author, a dad, a husband, a parkour athlete, a pilot, all these things that you do? How do
Parkour
you do
athlete.
that? And usually my answer is that my secret is I'm not a superhero at any one of these things. My superpower is workflow, it's efficiency, it's productivity. Based on my years of experience in a high-stress military environment.
Oh, man.
I'm going to teach you my 5 principles of workflow. And that's going to help you crush not just voice acting, but just about anything you tackle in life. Okay, those are the 4 things. Get your pencils ready. Let's get into it.
Pencil. Oh. Okay.
Okay, core process 1, nugget number 1, solidify your sound.
Solidify my sound.
If you're not going to live in Los Angeles, which you do not have to, you still need a home studio, right? And those cost like $1 billion. Everyone thinks actors' home studios look like this.
I didn't think that.
Nice, neat, organized, expensive-looking equipment, probably some cool mood lighting. But what they really look like is this.
That's...
Guys,
wow.
I saw some stuff during the pandemic that will haunt me for the rest of my life. Most actors absolutely did not have million-dollar studios. Most actors had their underwear hanging off doorknobs in the back of their Zoom calls. And I just
Okay.
can't unsee that.
That's a bit much. I don't believe that.
I promised you that you only needed 2 things to be a voice actor, okay? 2 pieces of equipment.
A microphone
Here
and
they
a
are.
computer. Oh, interface.
What you need are a microphone and an interface, the thing that connects the microphone to your computer. That's it.
What about... Okay.
Is that the shortest shopping list you've ever received in your life? Come on. Some of your significant others, your husbands and your wives, are out there sending you to the grocery store with a list like, I want organic, gluten-free fish prayers or something like
Fish prayers?
that. Okay? And I'm over here to say, like, buy microphone, buy thing, connect microphone to computer.
I only bought microphone, man.
Here's a picture of my first studio, one of my first studios.
Oh, wow.
At this
Impressive.
point, actually, the picture here, I've already made a few upgrades. I've been booking a few jobs. But that certainly does not look like the first picture I showed you, does it? Definitely not. There's no, like, Soviet missile bunker here or anything like that.
Oh, the good cat.
I earned thousands and thousands of dollars with this studio. It's so much simpler than people make it out to be. The reason is there's so much noise out there when it comes to picking your equipment because there's so much equipment.
Fair enough.
Sound equipment doesn't just encompass us, okay? Voice actors are extremely simple, but most of this stuff is designed for singers, musicians, producers, people that need a 7.1 surround sound system so they can mix stuff to TV audio. But all we need is a microphone and an interface. That's it. And the good part about that is that you don't need to go into like massive credit card debt for this. You book a few jobs, it's going to pay for the studio. In fact, one of my students, remember I talked about my $67 microphone? One of my students just booked a $5,000 national commercial on a microphone that cost
$50.
$67.
Oh, wow.
And that's exactly why when this video is done, you need to go check your email about some more details on how to get started fast on any budget, because it is possible. You need how many things?
2.
2 things.
67 things.
When I
Though.
work with my students, this is the first thing we have to work on. If you don't get this down, there's no point in sending out an audition. If you send out 100 auditions with bad audio, you've sent out 0 auditions.
Mm-hmm.
You do it right, you can make your own demos that get you clients like Lindsay here.
Lindsay?
My name is Lindsay Ward. I'm here to talk to you about my very first radio spot. Part of my job is working with radio and TV stations across the country to create digital advertising campaigns. And at the time, I had just completed my very first self-produced demo. Since I had a bit of rapport with the guy because of the campaign that we had been working on, I was like, let me just email him and ask him for advice on my demo. He surprised me by asking me if I wanted to join our internal company voiceover group. So I recorded the spot and I sent it over to the production manager in Jacksonville. And he was like, hey, I have 2 other 30-second spots and 3 15s that I need recorded. Would you mind doing it for me? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. To me, it was a really great positive experience to like actually have a semi-directed session, even though it was through email. But it was a really cool experience overall, and it was a great first step into the world of voiceover, especially when I was still like exceptionally new and just had never done it before. I view it as an invaluable experience, especially when it came to building connections, because I realized that that's the most important thing, is building connections, and it's all about who you know.
Interesting.
Okay. I hope that built your confidence about how simple it is to build a studio. 2 things. No matter what anybody tells you, our job as voice actors requires so little in the way of audio setup that you should set and forget and never touch it. You can upgrade as you go, but once you reach that minimum viable entry point, you're done. And then you can go on to the next thing I promised to teach you, my second core process, the awesome audition.
Whoa.
I don't have time. I want to respect your time to go through all 11 steps in depth here, but I want to be mindful of your time. But the awesome audition is a foolproof checklist that's essentially a list of questions and analysis points about any piece of copy, the script, right? We call the script the copy, sometimes the sides. If you can answer these questions, which is the core of that 11-step process, you'll know immediately how to approach the copy. These are great things to write down so you can refer back to them for every audition, okay? Question number 1, who is the audition from? Who you're receiving the audition from changes the way you approach a copy. Is it from an online casting website?
Oh.
Is it from a rando on Twitter? Is it from an agent? Is it from a high-powered coastal agent? Is it from a client you know? Is it from a client you don't know? Is this a cold audience, a warm audience? Who you get the copy from is going to change how you approach it, because you may have more insight into how they like their stuff, right? An agent may not necessarily inform your read as much as understanding that the copy coming from your agent is higher quality, typically. So you're going to need to spend more time and pay more attention, okay? So who you get the copy from actually really matters in how you approach it. The second question is, what is the final product going to be used for? Is it a TV commercial? Is it a radio commercial? Is it a corporate presentation? Who's the audience? That's actually question number 6. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here.
Oh, okay.
But what's it used for? What's the media? Because the way you approach a TV commercial and a radio commercial are very different. The way you approach a video game and an anime are very different. The way you approach different types of video games is very different if you're savvy, right? So in order to have an awesome audition, you must answer the question, what's the final product going to be used for? The third question is a little technical, so I'll glance over it a little bit. Are there any conflicts at play? This really only applies for commercial work. If you get a car ad, right, and some other car company has you in what we call exclusivity, which I teach about in my students all the time. We don't really have time to go into it here, and it's probably more depth than we need to anyway for a short master class.
Okay.
Make sure that you're not about to break an exclusivity contract you have with them. Probably don't need to worry about that, but that's definitely a question you should ask. Question number 4, what are the specs? When I talk about specs, I mean the things they're telling you they want. What do they say they want? Male, female, non-binary, 40s, 50s, bright, young, warm, all these adjectives that they use. That's what they say they want, okay? Now, many times you may not have a lot of information, and that's okay, because question number 5 is, what is the script? This is what they definitely want. Using the script as your specs, what kinds of words do they use? How is that script formatted? If you see it formatted like a film and TV script, then you know it's more sketch-based. It's going to be more of a scene than it is teaching or advertising. Look at the script. What is the script? How is it formatted? Number 6 and number 7 go together. Who is your audience and who are you?
What does that
Who do you
mean? Who are
represent
you?
in this script?
Okay.
Are you a spokesperson? Are you a user of the product? Are you a friend? Are you a colleague?
Interesting.
Are you a boss?
Ooh,
Are you an expert, an authority? Are you a newbie, a layman?
a newbie.
This may not be in the script, and then you get to choose. But you can infer that if you know the answers to question 4 and 5. What are the specs and what is the script? And who are you talking to? Who's your audience? Are you talking to a friend? Are you talking to a child, a coworker? Are you talking to a room of 300 people, a stadium of 3,000 people? Who are you talking to? In real life, we don't do things without a reason, right? We don't just talk into the air for no reason. We always have someone we're talking to. I'm talking to you guys, right? So I'm going to talk to you in a certain way because I know my audience.
Okay.
And the last question that you need to know in the awesome audition is how do they want it? How do they want that thing delivered to them? And where? And when? Your deadline, your file name, your file type. The technical stuff, do
File
not
type?
screw that up, man. It is not an awesome audition if they ask you for an MP3 in mono and you send it to them as
In
a
mono?
wave in stereo. It shows you A, can't follow directions, and or B, you don't know what you're doing. So pay close attention. Those are your 8 questions, guys. Who's the audition from? What's the final product going to be used for? Are there any conflicts? What are the scripts? What are the specs? Who's your audience? Who are you? And how do they want it? Those 7 questions encompass everything you need to know about every audition.
Ugh.
Do you see how my main goal for voice acting education is to simplify and make it accessible, right?
It's pretty simple.
This isn't a textbook.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of work you can pour into answering those questions, and I talk about it all the time with my students. We go in depth into the awesome audition and its processes. But it's not advantageous for you as actors to get bogged down in complicated methods and mantras, right?
Matches.
Unless, of course, they work for you. I'm never here to take a tool away from you. But you should be flexible in your approach. I like to say strong opinions, weakly held. Hold to your convictions weakly, but have them,
Weekly.
right? This is a philosophy you can apply to pretty much anywhere in life, right? But we're talking about it in voice acting right now.
Wait,
You should try it
alright.
out in more than just voice acting. Strong opinions, weakly held, okay?
I guess.
One of my students that really applied the awesome audition was Nick. Check out his story.
I don't know who
My
Nick.
name is Nick Reno, and I just wanted to share with you my experience in Joe Zege's Voice Acting Academy and how that's helped with some of the projects that I've been working on more recently. So I began with working through the different modules that Joe had set out. My first big projects were specifically in video narration. I do video narration for a travel channel on YouTube. So they do backpacking, they do traveling the world. Where Joe Zege's Voice Acting Academy came into play was I had been taking all of these modules and really just learning so much from Joe. He's going to give you breakdowns of the industry, the business side, how to get your home booth going, working on things like audio quality, exporting, customer relationships, and building that network. And I've done a lot of my work in video narration, but I've been moving more into character work. I know that there's more that these modules and these classes are going to help me do. If you're thinking about signing up for the Academy, I can't recommend it enough. It's absolutely fantastic. And Joe has been a great teacher.
Did I
You're
not
going to
already
learn
sign
so
up?
much.
Could have sworn I signed up already. Technically.
Okay, that's great. You just told me how to hit a home run with my audition, right? But what do we do once we've booked the job? Because that's just as important.
I feel
No
like it's
worries, I
more
got you.
important.
I want to lead off that third core process, the spectacular session, with a real piece of secret insider info that you should definitely write down and internalize. Being good at your job, and anybody who's worked with anybody in any field knows this, being good at your job is half the battle. The thing that will make your career explode, being easy to work with. That's the thing that turns an audition not just into a client, but a repeat client. Because they just come back to you again and again. No more auditioning for that client. No. They just shove money in your general direction and tell you to talk. Perfect.
That's a bit much.
It's the thing that's made my career what it is. 65% of my income, I don't even audition for anymore, guys, because it's return clients just handing me job after job. You make those relationships after booking the session using the awesome audition and solidifying your sound. You make those relationships awesome through the spectacular session. There's a lot that goes into making a session spectacular, but we're going to go through the basics, right? We're going to skim the surface here. I want you to take this with you as you go. There are 4 main steps within the larger purview of the spectacular session. And they rhyme because it's cool.
It's grog.
Connect, direct, perfect, collect. Again, I go into this in a lot of real depth.
Hold on. Okay, anyway.
When I teach in a broader
Connect,
sense.
direct, perfect,
These are
collect.
the 4 basic components, okay? You do that stuff, your clients will love you. So let's go through them one by one. It's like a little subset of a core process for another core process of the core process. Stick with me.
It's a lot.
First, connect. Do not screw up this part. We are many years into COVID, people. Everyone should know exactly how to use things like Zoom, WebEx, Google Meet, Skype, whatever. The time to realize that your interface,
Skype is
remember
dead.
the 2 things you needed, microphone and interface, the thing that connects the microphone to your computer, that your interface isn't talking to Zoom is not 10 minutes prior to your session, or worse, as you start the session. Get your connection method and time zone straight. Agree with the client when and how you're going to connect, and then test. Things can't always go perfect, but you should make sure that they're as close as they possibly can be. Because there's
Interesting.
nothing more frustrating to a client than starting 20 minutes late because somebody doesn't know how to use Zoom. Okay? Second,
Late.
that was connect. Direct. Take direction graciously, like a champ. Ask
champ.
clarifying questions when you're taking direction, but don't be that actor that buries a director with all these ridiculous questions like, what's my motivation here? When all you're doing is reading a
Okay.
2-minute internal explainer video, okay?
Yeah, it's a bit much.
That's a principle of proportional attention that we'll talk about in a second.
What's my
In
motivation?
the workflow. If you get a bad director who's making you do stuff that makes you sound not so great, that's okay.
What do you mean
That's
that's
part of
okay?
the experience.
Okay.
There are bad directors, there are bad actors, there are bad instructors. Do your best, stay professional, and file that away for next time when that client asks for another job. Then you can figure out if it was worth it to work with someone trying to like Spielberg you for a
Spielberg.
$100 video. Okay? Then you get to make that decision. You have that information. But take the direction well, always be professional. Third, perfect. Get all the small details straight. Once the client's is happy, okay? Listen to me here. Once the client is happy, your job is done. No more workshopping stuff inside your head. Get imposter syndrome out of this thing. They said they were good with it. It was good. You made your client look good. Awesome. This step is called perfect, not because we are looking for perfection, but because now we need to solidify the fact that you're an awesome actor by doing the rest of the job.
Okay.
That means communicating clearly with the client about what they expect to happen once the job is over. Edit to their specs. Export their preferred file type. Send it to them however they want the file, wherever they want to receive it. Do it expediently, do it
Expediently.
the right way, and they will be begging for you to come back. This is just a little insider trick. You always have this little banter going on at the end of a session, right? Where you're like, thanks so much, guys. What I'm doing while I'm bantering with them, I'm already
Connecting.
exporting that file down so that before we hang up the call, I can drop the mic, no pun intended, and be like,
Okay.
oh, by the way, you've already got the file. See ya. Man, they love that every
Cold.
time.
Gold.
I invite you to take that with you.
It's a good idea.
And fourth, collect the good stuff.
The money.
But you still got to make sure it's done right.
Oh.
Do you have a reliable, repeatable way to track your jobs? A CRM?
What is that?
customer resource management, whatever that acronym stands for. Things like
Oh, you don't even
HubSpot,
know what that
the
means
Google
either.
Doc. Do you know how to invoice your clients? Did you set good expectations before the session about how much you're getting paid, when you're getting paid, how you're getting paid? After the session, or even worse, during the session, is not a good time to be negotiating and talking about your job scope or payment, right?
Wow.
Establish a cool system. Use PayPal, use QuickBooks to issue invoices and track your payments, and then automate it. Step away. We'll talk about this in the last thing I'm going to teach you today, the fourth core process, workflow. But first, let's take a look at one of my students, Kevin, and how he used this spectacular session to become a client favorite.
Interesting.
The
Let's see.
first shortlist I got on Voices.com ended up being my first paid role. The role ended up
Really?
being one of the player character voices in the then upcoming game Ark Survival Ascended. It consisted
Whoa.
mainly of just efforts, and while I had taken another workshop specifically on efforts, this was the first time I had a live directed session for something quote-unquote professional. And I immediately went back to review the spectacular session module of the course. Refreshing on that helped me to calm down and prepare for a live directed session, scheduling a time, verifying my equipment was all working beforehand, and then once I was in the session with the directors, everything flowed from there. It was a great time, and there's no teacher-like
bad.
experience, but I'm glad that I enrolled in the Voice Acting Academy and was able to come into the session as prepared as I could be. I even worked with the same client again later down the line, so it was super validating to know that, yes, they chose me, and yes, they liked me enough to want to continue to work with me.
Impressive.
Pretty cool,
Yeah.
right? But I've honestly saved the best for last, at least for me, okay? If I had a phone booth, I'd be stepping into it right now to just peel off my costume or my shirt and show you my Superman costume, because this is the
What?
real key, okay? I don't care if you're a voice actor or a professional cow tamer. The 5 principles of workflow I'm about to introduce you to can and will change your life if you let them. They apply to everything: parenting, finance, gumdrop production, I don't care.
Gumdrop protection.
You can do it faster, more efficiently, and better when you understand workflow. Now, those 5 principles that I've developed for workflow, they've got some fancy names. Why? Because I like fancy names. They're easy to remember, and they're catchy, okay? I could have named them anything that I want. They're my processes.
Okay, fair
Here
enough.
they are. We'll go into each of them, I promise. The principle of proportional attention. The principle of exponential experience. The principle of the deferred procedure, which I think is the coolest name.
Why isn't this written down?
Principle of delegation and the principle of automation. I could talk about these for days each. I teach them to my students at length all the time with lots of ways to employ them specifically for voice acting. But for you guys, let's just go over them briefly so we can walk away empowered to become a machine, but
Machine.
not a mindless machine, one that can still be artistic. Okay?
Oh.
So number 1, the principle of proportional attention. The principle of proportional attention
Oh, man.
is the principle that says the value you are getting from something should be proportional to the effort you are putting into it. It's sort of an expansion of the 80-20 rule, if you've ever heard it, or the Pareto principle, which just says that 80% of X is probably coming from 20% of X. 80% of your income is probably coming from 20% of your clients. 80% of your stress is probably also coming from 20% of your clients. So if you can cut those 20% that aren't doing for you, you've still got the 80% left over, right?
Makes sense.
Proportional attention in our case applies to things like, are you spending an hour on some random Twitter audition that pays $25, right?
Ooh.
Now, there's a time and a place for that, right? Understanding how much time you're spending in a place is still adhering to the principle of proportional attention,
For sure.
as long as you know it's there. Are you tracking your time?
Mhm.
Do you know how much time you're blowing on things like Facebook scrolling, Instagram scrolling,
Facebook
watching
scrolling.
shorts on YouTube?
Oh, man. You got me.
What proportion of your attention are you putting towards that? And what value are you getting from it? It doesn't just apply to voice acting people. But from a voice acting standpoint, the easiest example I can give you, are you spending Let's say you book an audiobook, right? They pay okay, but not amazing. Are you spending 6 times the amount that it's going to take you to record that audiobook, going in there and taking notes, and is it really improving your performance that much? That's for you to decide.
Wait,
as long as
audiobook?
you're aware.
Wait, what's going on?
That's the principle of proportional attention.
I spaced out. Oh no.
The principle of exponential experience is about getting things as fast as you can and building them on top of each other. Each audition should build on the experience of the last one. And your skill curve does not go linear. If you do that, it goes exponential. That's the idea. There is this urban legend out there that I love to tell about a pottery making class.
Urban legend?
A pottery guy a teacher divides his class into 2 sides. One side, he says, you guys, your grade at the end of this semester is going to be based on 1 pot. You spend this semester perfecting this 1 pot. You get 1 pot. Make it awesome. This side of the class, your grade will be determined on how many pots you make. Doesn't matter what they are.
Quality over quantity.
Make as many as you can. At the end of the semester, who do you think had the better quality pots? Was it the group that only made 1 and focused really hard on making that the best pot in the world?
Yeah, that
Or
one.
was it the group that made as many pots as they could, regardless of their quality? If you thought it was the 1 pot group, wrong. It was the
What?
group that made all the pots.
What?
Each pot they made
I could
became
see
part of
how.
their exponential experience. So that by the time they made their 100th pot, it was exceptional. And they could do it quickly. And they learned from the 99 pots before that to make their 100th pot incredible.
But what if they didn't make 100 pots?
The group with all the crappy pots before that good one had the best quality pots. Make your crappy pots. This is a huge problem I see with voice actors because there are so many
They want to
voice
start
actors,
off
even
good,
seasoned voice
like-
actors who refuse to go out and audition and do the work and get the jobs because they're like, oh, man, I just need 1 more demo. I need 1 more coaching session. I need 1 more, and then I'll be ready. Then I'll be ready.
Alright.
Then I'll be ready. Just go. That's the principle of exponential experience. Principle number 3, the principle of the deferred procedure.
Deferred
This
procedure?
comes from computer theory, right? And if you're already your computer science majors, I'm
I haven't
gonna
been
simplify
writing
this, so
any
please
of this
don't throw
down.
anything at me. A CPU, the thing in your computer that does its magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's doing many things at once, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not. A CPU is using a deferred procedure to move rapidly from one task to the next, over and over again, billions of times a second. Gigahertz, billion times, billion frequency. It's doing it billions of times a second. And so it's paying incredibly focused attention on one task at a time, but it's doing it in such rapid succession that it seems like it's multitasking. Multitasking should be called intentionally doing multiple things badly. When you dilute your focus, not only do you lose time switching between tasks, but your brain is in so many different places at once that you'll do all those things badly. I promise you, if you do one thing at a time and do it with focus, then consciously switch to the next thing, your workflow will improve. There are other things I teach my students in here about techniques like batching and weaving, where you take the deferred procedure and apply it to things like, okay, let's talk about this from a voice acting standpoint. Is it more efficient for you to open an audition, read it, analyze it, record it, edit it, mix it down, send it in, move on to the next audition? Or should you batch that task? Should you open all the auditions, review all the auditions, record all the auditions, edit all the auditions, mix down all the auditions, send all the auditions, so that you're doing one type of task at once? The principle of the deferred procedure says,
Makes sense.
that's a good idea. Delegation and automation, principles 4 and 5, are similar. The
Delegation.
principle of delegation is this. Welcome to society. This is how we work.
Alright.
Society is built on delegation. Did anybody in the audience go hunt the meat for their bacon this morning?
I
No.
did.
I went to a grocery store. In fact, Many of you may have even ordered it from the grocery store. You didn't even do that anymore. You delegated that authority on so many different chains, from finding your food all the way to bringing it to your house.
Grubhub. Oh no.
Maybe someone in the house cooked for you because you were doing something else. That's delegation. We don't think about that as voice actors because it makes us feel lazy, right? Or we think we can't afford to delegate our processes. There is one thing that's required of you as a voice actor: your mouth behind the microphone. Anything else can be done by another person.
Yeah,
Sending
right.
out your invoices, checking your emails, keeping your calendar. All that stuff, editing your audio. All that stuff can be done by other people. The decision you need to make is whether or not it's worth your time to hire it out to somebody. If you're spending 8 hours a week invoicing clients, but you could take that 8 hours a week or even 4 of them and be earning more money on the microphone, you better hire someone quick. That's the principle of delegation. And automation, a small subset, but I separate it as its own process, is about delegating work to essentially non-human entities.
Non-human?
We're in this weird, wild world of AI where AI can do things for you.
Oh, yeah.
There's lots of tools out there that can maintain your integrity as an artist, but still do things more rapidly than you can.
Yeah.
For example, on my keyboard, one I have right here in front of me, I have all kinds of macros set up because
What is
I'm
that?
condensing multiple instructions into one. I am automating things like edit cuts, all kinds of stuff you can do in the DAW. It's super powerful, guys. As a matter of fact, it's so powerful, I want to show you an example of this in action. Check this out.
Okay. Let's see
Now,
it.
let's look at that export macro. I'll show you here in a second. I'm recording something blank. It's just going to be like a blank file in here. I'm going to take this and just drag it over here since it's a little bit easier to see. What you'll see when you're exporting in your DAW is you have these little right and left things on the top. Most DAWs have this. So I need to assign from where to where I want to export. So normally I'd have to manually drag this way.
Interesting.
Or in most DAWs, you can press Control and click to set the left border and Alt click to set the right border. That was even not fast enough for me. So what I did is in Studio One's macro organizer, I created something called Export Loop, which you'll see in here does two things. First, it tells the transport to loop the selection. These things on top is also setting the loop, so that if I were to ever want to loop it by playing something over and over again, those are the loop barriers. The loop barriers are also the export barriers, the start and end mark of your export. Then I did Song Export Mixdown, which does two things. It sets this as the loop, which you'll see this change in just a second, and then it exports the mixdown, which is this menu here that I could have gotten by going up to Song and then export mixdown. But in my case, I want it all in one button press. Control E, watch the loop snap. Bam, you
Wow.
see, it sets the loop to the selection. Now I can do that either by selecting the entire event using the arrow tool or the 1 key, or I can select part of the event by using the range tool or the 2
Impressive.
key. And I can switch between them, not by clicking with my mouse, but by using my keyboard. And I can select, let's say I only wanted to export this part of it. And then I click Control E, you see the export loop moves, and it immediately brings up the export screen. Lightning fast, guys.
Not bad.
Right? Do you see how many processes got condensed into one process in so many parts of that? How
I saw it.
fast that became? Even if you're only saving 3 seconds, when you aggregate that over a week, a month, a year, you're getting days of your life back with the principle of automation. And with those 5 principles, you're sitting pretty. These are some of my students that have used my principles of workflow. They love it, man. This unlocks stuff for people. You don't realize it because it's not as sexy to talk about it, right? It's not as sexy to talk about it as in like, well, I learned how to make a big goblin voice, and then no.
Why would it need to be
Let's
so?
talk about running this as a business, guys. Gabriel here says he donated kidney to me, or sell my kidney to me now because the workflow module changed his life.
Oh,
Chloe did 160 auditions in a week
4 separate
using
sites.
workflow.
Whoa.
My student Joe, great name, different guy. Making an effort to learn keyboard shortcuts changed his life
That should
as a
be.
voice actor.
Huh?
These aren't computer programmers. Now, Joe is a computer programmer. That makes me look silly. But those principles can be used by anybody. And you, as a voice actor, unlocking them will put yourself head and shoulders above your peers using those principles. I
Interesting.
promise you that. Those are the core 4 processes, guys. That's a lot of information. If your brain isn't just like leaking from the overload that you've gotten from me today, right? You got to be asking yourself probably one more question.
What?
How do you use this? It's a lot of information. How do you break into the voice acting industry? Where do you go from here? How do you become the next story of all the folks that I've shown you? Get to hear your voice coming out of the TV. I'm sure you're feeling a mixture of overwhelm and or excitement, and I'm going to get to some other questions that people ask me all the time here as we go.
Okay.
But let's take it down a step, okay? Let's let our brains stretch out and relax. Let's see if I can simplify all of today for you. You essentially have 2 choices, okay? Option 1, you do what you're doing. You spend $10,000 to work with a coach once a week for a year, right? That's the way that we've been told. That's the old Hollywood way. You stumble around YouTube or like online groups, get advice that was great in 1992 or advice from people that have no credentials, right? You could wait for permission to go auditioning based on an outdated list of things you need to be a voice actor, like a theater degree or like a bunch of expensive demos, a bunch of agents. And that means you just never get started.
What a shame.
Or you get option 2. You get the entire career breakdown of someone who's done paid voice acting jobs more than almost anyone else in the entire industry across every genre: commercial, promo, games, animation.
You talking about yourself?
You establish not just foundational knowledge, the things that like you lack when you go to theater school or go with a coach, but a huge grab bag of skills that will put your audition at the top of the pile every time, including where to find work on your own, not just begging an agent for it. Because again, remember what I said at the beginning of this masterclass? You are the most passionate advocate of your career. One thing we don't delegate is passion. You can't find someone to be more passionate about your career than you are. You have to go do the work.
Noted.
You want to approach every voice acting job, every voice acting audition from a position of power, not a position of desperation. Right? So if it's okay with you guys, I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about option 2. Because I think you'll agree with me here. It sounds really good, but it also sounds a little impossible, right? And if you're about to start trying to like slide into my DMs and ask me how I coach you, then you definitely have not been listening. Getting started is not with coaching.
Most definitely.
When I started voice acting 10 years ago, there weren't even 2 options, right? There was one. You stumble around, you blow money on coaching, you move to Hollywood, you wait tables, waiting for your big break. All the ways you probably have before today believed you had to like pay your dues, work for exposure, all that crap. But you remember me, I got paid for my first job, $100.
Ooh, that's good.
Pretty cool. I thought there had to be another way.
Really?
There had to be. So I built it. I call it the Voice Acting Academy. Because when
Interesting.
you think of an academy, right, you don't think of a place where you work on a skill once a week for $500 an hour, which some coaches charge.
Yeah,
When you
that's
think of an
weird.
academy, you think of something comprehensive, something that doesn't leave you floundering because it's not just theory, it's practice. It doesn't just teach you skills, but shows you what to do with them in the current economy, the current industry, with the current rates, the current structure, not one that's been dead for 30 years and is still being gatekept from you.
What?
Something maybe a little bit elite. Yeah, that's the academy. That's my voice acting academy. So let me take you for a second, right? I'm actually going to log in right now, and I'm going to show you everything here, from soup to nuts. What's in here?
Soup to nuts?
And if when I get done, you're not standing in your chair and yelling, hell yeah, that's okay. You take the free ebook, the roadmap, the vocal variables cheat sheet I said I'd give you if you stay to
Cheat
the end,
sheet.
and you go back into the voiceover wilderness, and you have a great time. Let's open up the doors of the Voice Acting Academy, and I'm literally going to show you right now what's inside.
Whoa. Oh boy.
Okay, so here we are inside the academy, guys. And I just want to show you the tremendous amount of information that I've put together here. It is built on 18 modules. There's 120 lessons in here, but they're all
18
organized in a
modules.
way that's super easy to consume. Many of them are in bite-sized files that are maybe 5 minutes long. Sometimes there are longer lessons, demonstrations that are between 20 minutes and an hour. But for the most part, it's all bite-sized content that you can go at your own pace. The problem with coaching is that you can't go at your own pace. You have to subscribe and get on somebody's calendar, and you have to eat up your time. It's hard to find a coach, and then you're getting charged $250 to $500 an hour just to be there, right? This is here for you to learn your foundation as quickly as possible or at your own pace. You could take 6 months to go through this, or you could rush through it in 30 days and an hour a day, right? That's what this is here for.
Makes sense.
We get a welcome going on here on the left-hand side, and you can see each of these has its own video, and it's got its own description on the bottom, sometimes with really helpful links. Things like joining our private Facebook group, which is an amazing community full of up-and-coming voice actors. It's really awesome. So we've got all these course bonuses and discounts, which I'll talk to you about in a second.
Discounts.
Talking about my team, because I have a great staff of team kicking it back there. And then we've got some bonus opportunities here for you before. But the first thing you need to do when you're approaching a new career or any endeavor is get your brain straight. So I don't jump into, okay, here's how to, break down commercial copy. I talk about some of the things that you guys have told me bother you, the things that keep you up at night as voice actors. Imposter syndrome, not being confident behind the mic, not understanding what you need before you get started, how to treat this as a job, or if you don't like your own voice. We talk about all of that in the Master Your Mentality module. That's a great way to set your mind straight, and it's really important that you do that before you start learning about the industry. Now
Got it.
you're set. Now you're ready to go. Now we're going into Voice Acting 101.
Ooh.
Voice Acting 101, I break down every genre. Many of them you probably never even
Commercials,
existed.
promo trailer,
Commercials,
animation.
promo, trailer, narration, animation, interactive video games, anime, audiobooks, corporate e-learning, radio imaging, and then there's more than that, guys. This is what I'm telling you about the industry being so huge. You could find your niche anywhere in there, or like me, I'm kind of all through there. I'm extremely diverse. I didn't really pick a genre. I do everything. And you
Interesting.
could go there, or you could find something and specialize. But if you don't know it's there, and you don't know what that is, if you're like, what the hell is a promo? Then you have no shot, right?
Oh,
Voice Acting 101, I break down what I call the genres and get you set to go. And then, what did I tell you my core process was? That was like the baseline thing. Solidify your sound.
yeah.
This
So
is the
I had it
signal
written
chain
down.
and the physical environment around you. The signal chain is anything that occurs between your mouth and your client's ears. Your microphone, interface, PC, everything in the DAW, the digital audio workstation, the sound station that you use. I teach all of it. All of it. We'll talk about microphone basics. What are the different microphones? Which microphones should you buy? Which microphone should you avoid? How to shoot things out. All that stuff. And then I show you how to build it from scratch. Then we go into your physical recording environment. If you take the most expensive microphone in the world, right, and you record it in a bathroom, it's going to sound like garbage. You need to make sure that your physical environment is as good as your digital environment. So we'll be talking about basic acoustic theory,
Acoustic there.
how to set things up, what you can do on any budget. And I'll be giving you some examples on how to build them as well. There are a couple really cool demos in here where I'm using some products from people across the industry who have built like pop-up booths and stuff like that and showing you the comparison of what they sound like before and after you use them. And then you can build anything you want using stuff you just get at Home Depot. It's not as complicated
Home
as you think
Depot.
it is, and I always simplify it, just like I simplified it today for you guys.
There is a Home Depot nearby. Interesting.
Then, the big question. Find paid work fast. How do I get paid? Where do I find my stuff? How do I get work?
Are there any
I
websites?
teach the 3 major ways to get work and then dig into each one of them. Then we talk about demos. Demos are one of the most misunderstood things in the voice acting industry, period. People think it's like this massive diploma that once you're ready, you go out and you spend your $5,000 demo and then you're ready to go. Not at all. So I talk about my philosophy on demos, what they should include, the difference between a professionally made demo reel and one you made yourself, and then I have what I call the demo, where I actually take one of my students' raw spots and I mix together a demo for him in under an hour using free assets, and I teach you how to do it too. Because chances are, that's all you need to start.
Oh, man.
Then we talk about agents. Who are they? Do you need them? When do you need them? What are they good for? Did you know that the majority of voice actors say that, and I'm talking like 70%, say that less than 20% of their income comes from their agents? We talk about why, and why they're a great part of your team, but may not be the only thing you use to get work. Then, you guys are familiar with this a little bit already. We talk about the awesome audition. We answer all those questions about where that audition came from and how to approach it. And we go through each one of them in depth so that you could have this checklist on your wall and never screw up an audition. And then, of course, when you book the job, the spectacular session. We've got our prep, connect, direct, perfect, collect chain that we talked about earlier today, and a ton of other in-depth details about how to do all those things in specific situations. Then we get crazy. We talk about how to make your audition, which is already awesome, pop. When I say pop, I mean when a casting director listens to yours, they go, oh, that's it. And you could see some of the I teach some advanced microphone techniques as well. I'll show you a little bit of these videos in here about how to get on mic and show you exactly how you can modify your sound to do something interesting in the booth.
Interesting.
So that when a casting director listens to your audition, they go, ooh, that person gets it.
What?
There are a bunch of other advanced audition techniques. I talk about my naturalizers, messing with specs, context. The idea of the conversational read was a huge topic in commercial stuff. And then I demonstrate a bunch for you so that you can see exactly how they work in action. Then, once we've got our technique settled, we're going to go into a little bit of the business. We're going to talk about things like SAG-AFTRA, the union. What is it? When and how do you join it? What's financial core? What's a right to work state? Can you convert work to union? Is it worth it? Those are all really specific questions. They have really detailed answers. And so we'll go into all of them so that you feel equipped to understand what the union's role will be in your career. Then we talk about vocal health.
Okay.
This stuff right here,
It's a lot.
how do we keep this healthy?
I don't know.
How do we breathe? No, really. Some techniques I use to cool down and warm up. How to be your own advocate in a situation where your voice hurts, or someone is asking you to do something crazy, screaming, being on fire, yelling grenade over and over again. These are things we have to consider as actors. And then here's a big one that so many people miss. Money matters.
Oh,
You
that
need to
should
know,
be obvious.
what do you charge? Why do you charge it? How do you negotiate? How do you negotiate for pickups? What are some red flags from clients where you, is this a scam? Is this not a scam? How do you deal with bad clients? How do you keep your books? All that stuff. These are really, really important aspects to any voiceover career, whether it's a full-time job or a part-time hobby. You need to get these under your belt, or you're just another uneducated actor in the wild who could get taken advantage of. And that's why I spend so much time teaching money matters.
Interesting.
And I teach business, because this is a business. You got to treat it like that. Then, the demon in the world, social media.
Oh.
I talked to you about my social media philosophy, how important it is or isn't for us, and protecting yourself, protecting you, protecting your privacy, protecting your career, how to stay above the noise, and how to produce some really fun content that might augment your career. I have a pretty good social media presence that I've studied it quite a bit, and I got a lot to say on this. So that's why I dedicate a whole module to it. Then, this is a fun one. This is what everybody wants, right? Creating compelling characters. How do I sound like an orc or a goblin?
There we go.
How do I put on an accent? How do I learn an accent? How do I lose an accent? This is the thing you guys are getting today. A piece of it.
Oh,
Anyway.
really?
I teach my vocal variables. It's a system that I've come up with to manipulate my voice and your voice in ways that will allow you to create an infinite number of characters because there are an infinite number of variables. And so I'll give you that cheat sheet that kind of goes along with the creating compelling characters part of the Academy.
Got it.
We talk about perspective. We talk about analyzing a script. We talk about, and this sounds a little philosophical, what it means to be human, because that's what acting is. Acting imitates real life. So understanding real life a little bit, understanding perspective, will help you be a better actor.
Interesting.
And so this is a huge part of the Academy right here. And it's one of the most fun ones to teach. That's one of the most fun ones to learn. Then, you guys saw this already. Some of it anyway. We'll take those 5 principles of workflow and we will put them into hyperdrive, specifically for a voice acting career. We'll talk about ways to stop using your mouse so that you're quicker on your keyboard in your DAW. And we'll talk about this principle that I really, really like. It's one of my superpowers. I call it the ice cold read. I cold read almost every script. Almost every script.
Oh, like in a dead voice
in
or something?
my life now. And you can too. Learning how
What?
to read without mistakes will cut your time in the booth in half and make you a more confident actor. And I teach all about that in the workflow module.
Interesting.
And then we got a couple of bonus modules. Now, I've been in this industry a long time. I know a lot of people. And I go out and I interview an engineer for some of the biggest games in the world. I interview one of the best demo makers. I interview the head of NAVA, who is the National Association of Voice Actors, a good friend of mine, Tim. And I interview a manager talking about the careers that we build, branding, all that stuff. That's just a bonus, man. Has nothing to do with the main portion of the course, but it's a good way to see some of these principles in action. Guys, that's it. That's a tremendous amount of stuff in the Academy, and it's all there for you whenever you want it.
Interesting.
Guys, that's the stuff. I get like almost a little like emotional when I go through. It's like, that's my career, right? That's the last 11 years of my life. That's the way I've
Understandable.
shown over 5,000 students the way to break into the voice acting industry. Over 30 hours of content, plus bonuses, access to that private Facebook group where we have challenges in there and discussions, feedback Fridays. A couple
Feedback
of times a year,
Fridays.
you actually also get a live Q&A session with me for free.
Wow.
I'll jump on and you can ask me any questions you want about your career, your specific career. And those Q&A sessions get archived. And I didn't show you, but when you enroll in the Academy, you get that whole archive. So there's dozens of hours of Q&A in there that you can peruse at your leisure and learn even more outside of the Academy. But there are a couple of bonuses that I want to talk to you guys about. First, let's talk about that little voice in your head.
What voice am I
This
at?
is like the biggest problem I get. People email me like, I don't have the confidence. I don't understand. Like, I don't know how to talk about my voice. I don't know if I like my voice. I don't know how to sell my voice.
Oh, man.
And when it comes to like audio settings, that technical stuff, being chased by a dude with a chainsaw trying to sell you essential oils is less scary than the technical stuff of like being inside the DAW. What's EQ? What's compression? All that stuff. I've got you. I've got powerful pitches
Whoa.
and the audio preset pack. 2 other products. If you ever wondered how to describe your own voice or to sell yourself to clients, I've got you. I've got 9 templates for agents, casting directors, websites, clients, and what I call my vocal vocabulary, right? This is a list of common industry terms that can be very confusing to new actors. Conversational, warm, empathetic. The
Conversational.
things that clients are using and that sort of mean the same thing. But I'll unlock that for you. It's like a glossary of terms, plus those 9 templates. So
Okay.
you understand what it means when they want a warm voice. And I'll give you my presets that I use in my DAW every day with my mic and mic space, adapted for all the most popular DAWs in use. So if you've got Reaper, Logic, all that stuff, we've got you covered. Pro Tools, all that stuff is done. You'll need to tweak them to fit your space, but that's a great starting point. Again, templates are no substitute for technique, but this is here to get you started. It's the jumping off point you need. This stuff, like a private audio consultation and like a private copywriter, this stuff is like $500. If you enroll in the Academy today, I will give you both of these things for free.
Oh, wow. Like today?
Sorry?
What? Why are you...
Okay, second bonus. We're in it now, okay? I'm not sure if you've ever heard of sites like voices.com or voice123. I talk about them. You saw them on the left side of the screen earlier when I was talking about the ways to find work, paid work, fast, right? Casting websites, sometimes called pay-to-plays, online casting, whatever. I generally call them the bank because over the last 10 years, I've booked over 2,000 jobs.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to get this website ready. Voices.com. Wrong thing. Okay, voices.com. Gotta get that ready. Voices.com. Okay. Yeah, let's wow. Hold on, look at this. Hold on. Voice Acting Academy Masterclass Bundle. Ultimate package for voice acting education in one place. Payment of $649. Wow.
From just these sites alone. And that doesn't include the amount of repeat work I've pulled from them. These are new clients. I'll throw my stats up here. I blurred out the money because I feel like it's a little tacky, but you guys can
Fair
do the
enough.
math, right? At some point in my career, I have been the #1 talent on both of the big casting websites on the planet. And I've also done really well on some other ones as well.
Okay.
There's a problem, though. These websites are glutted with talent. Some
Ooh.
of them say they have like 5 million voice actors on there. I don't know that there are 5 million voice actors on the planet. But anyway.
Possibly.
On top of that, some of them have some really complicated algorithms. Diving into the websites blind, especially because some of them are paid, can be a huge waste of time and money. So I'm going to give you, for free, another course called Crush Online Casting. It's my hack for all the casting websites. I will use my 10 years and thousands of jobs experience, tens of thousands of auditions on these websites, people. I'm giving to you their experience. I've had conversations with the developers and CEOs of these websites to show you exactly what they look for. What do their algorithms do? What do they look at? What don't they look at? What sites should you go on? What sites should you avoid? How do you master those algorithms so that you're only getting jobs that you can knock out of the park? That course is worth over $1,000. Easy. I'm going to include it for you guys today if you enroll for free. Okay, last bonus. Let's talk money, okay?
Oh.
I'm no Tom Cruise, but I've been working in this industry in a long time, and I've made a lot of great relationships. And through a lot of smooth talking and some handshakes, high fives, I'm going to hook you guys up big time. Not only do I have a huge list of discounts on places like voices.com and voice123, but I've also negotiated discounts with microphone companies, demo producers, sound software companies, and more. So many, in fact, that you're going to save the price of the Academy almost instantly. The discounts are that good, and the Academy is that affordable. I guess it doesn't really mean anything.
$649 is affordable, man?
Yes.
Really?
We already agreed that coaches are expensive, right? Like really expensive. Like, let's do the math. If you coached for 1 hour a week for 52 weeks a year, it would cost you over $10,000 a year. Yikes! And it still wouldn't give you most of the foundational knowledge that you saw in that demonstration of the Academy. It's mostly just, here's a piece of copy, let's talk about how to dig into it, which can be really valuable after you have a foundation.
Okay.
Obviously, we're not charging $10,000 for the Academy. If I charge you hour by hour for the amount of info that this Academy gives, yeah, that's what it would cost. The retail price, though, for the Voice Acting Academy is $1,997, $1,997. For powerful pitches and the audio preset packs, that's another $499. For Crush Online Casting, the retail price is $997. That's $3,493. And that's still a hell of a lot less than $10,000, but come on. That's a lot of money, man. So today, for being here with me, for hanging out to the end, you get all of that. Everything I just talked about before, All that $3,493 of value for $697. Price of 2 hours of coaching. The price of sometimes one booking. Everything. The Academy goes down to $697. You get everything else for free.
Interesting.
And, by the way, I don't do this subscription crap. You get it for life.
Oh,
For life.
interesting.
I'm so tired of everything being as a service. I know you guys are too.
Fair enough.
I don't do education as a service. You get it for life.
I like that.
And I'm going to take a little bit more of the risk here. I'm going to let you try the entire Voice Acting Academy for 14 days with a 100% money back guarantee. If you decide you don't like the content for any reason, if you don't like my face, whatever, I don't care. Within the first 2 weeks, you shoot us an email and we will give your money back as soon as we get the email. You go back to doing whatever it is before you found the Academy. Okay? That's it. I know there's a risk, and it's happened before where people go in and they do all the courses, they take the knowledge, and they're like, wow, it's 13 days. I want my refund. And we just go, okay, whatever.
Man, that sucks.
That's a risk I'm willing to take. I know my industry. I know people like that don't last long in it anyway, okay? This industry has a lot of integrity.
Oh,
So there's really
okay.
no reason, zero reason not to give it a try.
Interesting.
13 days in, you go, I didn't like this. Just give me your money back. No problem. No problem at all. But one other thing I know about my industry is that it favors people that take action. If you learned anything about me today in the way that I teach, you know that I'm not about waiting for permission, right? I'm about getting it done, getting it out there, getting out there now. So I'm going to give you 48 hours to think about it, 2 days, to really think about what you want your life to look like at the end of that 30 hours of content that I'm providing for you. In just the Academy. There's much more in the other courses. After that, everything goes back to its original price. You got a special link already waiting for you in your email, and there's one that just dropped right now that you can click on. Based on the time you're watching this, 48 hours later, the opportunity passes. 2 days from now, you lose the $3,000 in discounts. But honestly, both you and I know that you lose more than that, right? You lose the time. Time that you could be spending behind the mic.
Most definitely.
Polishing your skills. You lose the opportunity for that exponential increase I talked about earlier. Because if you know how exponents work, you know that the sooner you start them, the sooner they explode. What would happen if Samuel L. Jackson or Gene Hackman started a little earlier? Both of them got their big breaks pretty late. Why not start yours now?
Ooh.
One of my mentors in social media says that the best time to start YouTube was 2009. The second best time is now. Let me tell you from experience that one of the worst feelings an actor gets
Missing an opportunity.
is when a brand new game or a show gets announced on Twitter, right? You see all the announcements come out and you go, oh man, if I had started earlier, I might have been able to audition for that one. So start now.
Okay.
Go tell stories. Go get behind the mic. Stop waiting for other people's permission because you don't need it. The link you need to enroll in the Academy with your incredible amount of bonuses and the 14 guarantee, it's there now for you to click on. Bookmark it if you can't make the decision now. We'll give you some emails afterwards so you've got access to it. But that timer will run out in 2 days. And because you got started, you stick with me to the end, check the links that are there for you to click on as well for all those free goodies. You got your ebook, you got your vocal variables sheet, you got your roadmap that basically outlines the path that I just showed you through the Academy. All the things that you need to make sure that you know to have a solid career.
Makes
I hope
sense.
you decide to take the plunge, to start a new adventure. This world needs, more than anything, passionate, competent storytellers. And it starts here. It starts now. It starts with you. Just like it started with some of these folks who were sitting in your chair just a short time ago.
What?
Joe's Voice Acting Academy has taken voice acting away from this unattainable space and made it feel like something that I can truly do.
They're not auditioning. They're not reading scripts. How do you expect to get better at something if you're not doing it?
On top of that, he shares a ton of techniques that have helped strengthen my performances. Actors need context. We cannot figure out what we are supposed to say or why if we don't know who we're talking to.
I felt so welcomed and I felt so deserving of where I am.
It's such a formative experience. I see so many voice actors each day taking strides toward making their dream career, and we all have you to thank for that.
We have one non-renewable resource.
Time. Yeah.
Your academy finally gave me the push and the opportunity and the tools to making my dreams come true.
You have essentially ignited a fire, and every single one of us.
You had a friend named Milk Getter, and he came back from the store every time with grapes. You'd fire him.
Quality content that's really going to push our industry forward.
It has been a great experience for me. I've learned a lot, I've grown a lot in my talents and my skills.
I honestly think this is one of the best, if not the best, investment I have made on my voice acting career.
I asked the audience, I was like, how many auditions do you think I've done in the last 7 years? And someone was like, 75. I've done 54,000 auditions in 7 years.
Without your course, I would still be completely lost.
If you've ever felt like it's hard or scary, that has all been validated.
The 13-year-old me always wanted to do this to become a voice actor. You've given me a new lease on life.
To actually make this into an income and not just something I do on the side.
You're going to learn just how easy it is to turn your voice into your vocation.
Thank you guys so much.
Vocation? Interesting.
Okay, guys, there's a ton of questions that I've gotten, and I'm going to do my best to get through as many of them as I can. Again, I want to be respectful of your time, so I'll go through as many as I can and make sure that you guys have all the information you need. If you have any other questions, you are welcome to either DM me on Instagram at JoeZija, or probably better is to email support at...
Hold on, I need it. Is this like in real time? I gotta check it out. Gotta check it out. Hold on. Q&A only. File. Voice acting. File bundle. Type my question here. Okay. Can't see the questions then. That sucks. Let's get back to it. What questions will they ask?
learnvoiceacting.com, and that can be a way for you to just get any other questions you've got answered. Again, within that 2-day window. One of the questions I got first that I completely forgot to talk about was, is there a payment plan for the Voice Acting Academy? Yes. We have a 4-pay system that is $199 that you pay over 4 months.
Wow.
I take huge risk when I offer those things because so many people, they get in there and then they just stop paying. But I want to make this as easy and affordable for you guys as you can. In the checkout link, you should see the payment plan. So yes, there is a payment plan. It is 4 payments of $199 as opposed to the full payment right up front of $697. Okay. The second question I got, is it monthly payments or a one-time payment? Okay, talked about that already. Somebody asked me, is a phone a good alternative to record audio if you don't have a computer interface?
Depends.
No. You definitely need those 2 pieces of equipment. You need the microphone and the interface, and we talk about that in the signal chain module as well. What microphones are best for what situations and what different ones of them do. I generally don't like USB mics. You can get away with them for a little bit, but eventually you're going to outgrow that microphone, and it's going to be pretty quick.
Amen.
What's your advice to people who struggle with self-confidence and worry that other voice actors are better than yourself? The struggle with self-confidence is something that we deal with all the time in all areas of our lives, not just voice acting. And for me, there were a couple of things that sort of liberated me from that. One of them is understanding that everybody starts at different times in different places, right? All voice actors started from nothing. Even the ones that went the traditional route and got the theater degree and all that stuff, they all started from nothing, right? Nobody came out of the womb as an actor. So the idea that we're all moving at different paces in different places really helped kind of settle my mind. And the idea is that it's not about actors being better than you or not. If an actor you find is better than you, study them, right?
Interesting.
Spend time with them in like a pseudo sense, right? Like spend time with them and study what they're doing. Once you go through the academy, you're going to have enough of a baseline taste to understand, oh, they're doing this, oh, they're doing that. It no longer becomes, it's like hearing a language, right? Before you understand the principles of the language or even a few words, it all sounds like gibberish. But once you get it down, then you can be like, oh, I can pick that now. Oh, I see what they're doing there. They took that sentence, right? It's just like that. Where do I find work? So yes, we talk about how to find work. There are 3 major ways to find work as a voice actor. You have direct marketing, casting websites, and agents. And then there are lots of different other things that you can talk about. You can get referrals, other actors referring to you. I've been referred by other actors. I've referred other actors to clients and stuff like that when there's something they're looking for. But generally, the big things are your direct marketing, casting websites, and agents. Some people use social media as a huge way to get work. That's a little bit of direct marketing. It's a little bit of casting website. I talk about that in the course. It has varying levels of success. How does one go from amateur level work into bigger projects such as Genshin Impact? Now, that's an interesting question because
I mean, keep working, right?
It depends on what you're referring to as amateur level work, right? My first job was paid. It wasn't amateur level, right? And that has to do with like that stigma that like, oh, I have to go pay my dues. Why not make your first job a paid job, right?
So is that not amateur then?
So it's not about moving. It's not like jobs are better than each other. You're going to move between them and among them throughout your entire career, right? I've been in Genshin Impact. I've been in Fire Emblem and Transformers and stuff like
characters?
that. So like I've played lead roles. I'm still auditioning and getting in there for background work and stuff like that, right? And believe it or not, the rate for video games like Genshin Impact is nowhere near as good as the rate for e-learning or corporate narration, right?
Oh,
so if it's about making money, you're not going from a corporate narration to Genshin Impact, right? You're moving among different jobs and building a diverse career so that and there are ebbs and flows, when one ebbs, the other is flowing.
What?
When am I ready to put myself out there for auditions? In general, I think it's when you've passed that basic audio barrier, right? As soon as you pass that audio barrier, you can go out and put yourself out for jobs. Now,
Audio barrier?
people always think like, oh my God, if I go out there before I'm ready, I'm going to get this reputation. People think about us way too much, way more than they do, right? We don't have people like writing down our names and being like, this person sent me a bad audition. I'm never going to audition for them again. That's not the way it goes. In general, there's the idea that you can audition for somebody now and audition for the same person 3 years from now and get hired when you're better, right? That audition is an experience. You're learning. You're learning on the job. That's what I'm advocating through something like Exponential Experience. What's my process to get to know the characters you play? So for me, it's really interesting. Character work in a broader sense for like bigger clients is sometimes not as involved as you think it is, because what we do is we get the audition, right? The audition often doesn't have a lot of description in it. It's often code named, so we don't know what we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
So I take my best shot at the character based on the techniques I teach in the course. And if I get booked, the chances are the client's going to go, we love what you did with your audition, just do that, right? So people think there's this whole big prep involved, but it's really just do what you did in your audition. Now, there's different elements of that, and there are different types of projects that you may get the whole thing beforehand, and you can do a more traditional acting prep. But for the most part, it's about Occam's razor, like the simplest solution of the problem. Finding something that you think is viable, and then using the techniques I teach to make the audition pop. Will there be sales on the Academy? Honestly, nothing as big as what you're getting at this webinar. This is the most comprehensive and cheapest package, even from like a Black Friday perspective. So Black Friday, I usually do something like specifically for the Academy itself, but with this giant bundle, no, this is pretty great. How many takes do you go through before you send your audition? Now, I talked about cold reading, right? Now, I've been doing this for a long time. I've got tens of thousands of auditions under my belt. I don't expect you to go from 0 to being a one-take wonder right away, but you should be working towards that, right? You should be working towards that kind of speed and efficiency without sacrificing your art, which is why I teach cold reading, to get the technical aspect of reading, that brain word barrier, out of the way.
Okay.
Does the academy help me understand the VO industry? Absolutely. That's what I think coaches are missing, right? I think coaches, I love coaches. I've used coaches, right? I'm never poo-pooing coaches. But coaches are specific. They teach a piece of copy, and they teach you how to be, like how to improve your commercial read or how to improve your narration read, all right? The academy is there to help you understand the whole industry, both the old one, the old way, talking about networking and being in Hollywood and all that LA stuff, and the new way, which is more diverse. Jobs are everywhere. The landscape is more equitable. Anybody can do it. It doesn't matter where you are. That's all that stuff is in there. How do you record a demo and where do you get the lines to record one? So recording demos, it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about the idea of a professional, like expensive demo reel, the traditional demo reel, that demo maker will give you the copy, right? That's part of the package.
Makes sense.
For demos you make yourself, there's lots of ways to do it. You can study commercial scripts and write your own. You can use an AI tool to generate a non-copywritten, like a uncopyrightable demo script. There are script libraries that you can go to. I generally don't necessarily recommend them for demos, but it's something you can certainly do. There's lots of ways to get scripts, to get materials for your demos. That's why I spend an entire module on it.
Makes sense. So I got food. Popeyes. Perfect time to eat, right? While I was answering questions. 10 minutes left. I think it's
There's
fine.
like hours of. I could literally, and I do literally talk about this for hours. What's the difference between your higher level students and your regular students, your academy students? So there are, although I'm not working with you personally in the academy, because that's not the point, it doesn't benefit you if I work with you personally during the academy phase of your career.
Fair enough.
I do have other opportunities where I will work one-on-one or one to group with students. And it just kind of depends on like what my availability is, how many people are in that group and all that kind of stuff. Once you get into the academy, if I have openings for those sorts of things, which are fairly rare, I will, of course, let you know. What software do you recommend for recording? So there are lots of software out there. I use
Audacity.
Studio One,
No.
which is made by Presonus. Some people use Pro Tools, Cubase, Reaper, Logic. The best one generally is the one you know. The free one that everybody uses is called Audacity. It's great to start with. I'm starting to like it less and less as I go through more teaching more students, because I find that like it kind of hamstrings you in a couple ways. But the important one is just to get into one. The principles are the same, right, between DAWs, and the things that we need to use within a DAW are generally the same, right? Like the functions we need from DAW to DAW are generally the same. So once you learn a DAW, you learn a lot of principles in all of them, and it's not that different to Hop. But there's lots of great ones out there. What makes your courses or the academy different from other master classes out there? So
Let's hear it.
I have never seen anything, and this is why I built it, this comprehensive, right? And especially if you're getting this bundle, this awesome deal that you could, our links are still there, right? And you'll get links in your email and stuff when you watch a replay. I've never seen anything this comprehensive in the entire industry. Nobody I know has this much content.
This was
that's
pretty comprehensive, yeah.
broad and covers a wide range of things. I've seen things that have like a similar amount of like hours of content, but it generally, doesn't necessarily cover the broadness that I do. I think that's also kind of what makes my academy different, and the fact that it's like you pay once and you get it for life. I don't do a subscription model.
That is impressive, yeah.
It's also part of my unique training as a military officer and a businessman, that like I can treat this career differently than a traditionally trained actor. And I think that benefits a lot more people, because, like having that like thespian sort of thing is more rare than you think it is. And it presents this sort of like class structure where like you're either an actor or you're not an actor. And my opinion is that like anybody can learn these skills, right?
Inspirational.
Do you recommend VO as a side job, or does it have to be a full-time job? I get this question a lot. It's whatever you want it to be, right? It's whatever you want it to be. If you want it to be a side hustle, then you put side hustle levels of effort into it, and you get side hustle levels of satisfaction from it. If you want it to be a full career, then you go that way and you put that level of effort into it, see what happens. It is what you want it to be. And I'm not here, and I don't think anybody else should be here to prescribe that for you, right? Does the academy cover building an at-home booth or an at-home recording studio? Yes, there's a whole module just on that. It's super, super, super important. Can you give a pay range for voice actors? Potential lowest to highest? Yeah, sure. So we talk about this in the Money Matters module. There's a couple things that you base your not all voice acting pays the same. So when people are like, well, what do you charge per word? That's not the right
Per
question.
word, okay.
The first question you always ask is, where are you using this and how long are you using it for, right? Because if where are you using this is dubbing, a live action dub from Spanish to English or French to English, right? That rate is one kind of rate. And if it's a television commercial that's going to be broadcast on ABC for 6 months, that's a completely different rate. Completely different rate, right? So a paid range, so we'll talk actual numbers. I want to give you actual numbers, okay? So like a corporate explainer video that's like 5 minutes long, used for internal use only, might pay anywhere from $350 to $500. An hour of dubbing anime may pay anywhere from $60 to $120. One of the biggest misnomers about this career, anime pays the worst out of any other genre of voice acting.
Is that true?
The dubbing architecture is really archaic and needs to be repaired.
Oh.
Audiobooks tend to pay, around $200 per finished hour of recording, and like commercials can pay, anywhere between $500 and $100,000, depending on if you get like real lucky and you get like a class. We call them Class A national. This is all like part of the usage discussion. But if you get a commercial that runs on network television for 2 years, right, and they just run the heck out of it, you get paid every time it runs. If it's under that specific contract, you might make $100,000 on a commercial. I've made close to $100,000 on a commercial before, for sure. So, and then you've got, like your casting call club jobs where like somebody's running a fan dub and they're paying people $5. So it really is that broad, right? But it has to do with where you're using that thing. What's it for? And that's why on the Awesome Audition, I say that's a really important question to ask. Where is this being used? Because then that tells you, do I need to renegotiate this rate? Or is this is this something I should even audition for? Is there a payment plan for the Academy? We already talked about. Yes, we talked about at the beginning. You can get it from clicking on that link. Do you have any students who are not American or live outside the USA? Absolutely. Now, I'll caveat this and say that like the principles I teach for acting and the industry can translate to non-English speaking countries, right? But I can't really advise you on like linguistic specificity, right? So I speak a couple different languages. I spent some time in Germany, and I know that like the German voice acting landscape, for example, right, does not adhere to the American idea of conversational. Many, German voice actors like, ich habe ein großes Angebot für Sie. Like, it's really in your face. And many, like, European countries are still kind of there. Like the Japanese market is still also a little more on, like, the cartoony theatrical side when it comes to commercials, whereas
Most
America
definitely.
is still very, like, conversational. So stylistically, it may not translate. But particularly things like building your sound, securing your sound, like, that's going to be universally applicable. Business ethics may differ from country to country, culture to culture, but they're going to be primarily the same. And I have plenty of students that are outside of the USA that are, it's particularly, English-speaking countries, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. So those principles can and do work. I do have a couple of students in my higher level programs that are in the UK that like work with me one-on-one, and they book really well in the UK. So yeah, it's absolutely applicable in lots of different places. Is having a condenser microphone better than having a USB microphone? Yeah, we talked about that. A USB microphone may
Wait,
work
I have
for
both.
you for a little bit.
What?
But
The microphone I'm using, it says it's USB and condense. Is that good? Because USB is not good to him, apparently. Huh. Oh.
will likely not last very long. You know what I mean? Okay, I see a ton of questions in here. I want to emphasize that like you guys can reach out during your 48-hour window. I recommend to support at learnvoiceacting.com. You can feel free to DM me on Instagram at Joe Zija. Do me a favor, okay? If you DM me on Instagram, start it off with the hashtag #TalkTheTalk so that I understand that you're not like a fan, like starting an inappropriate conversation, because Instagram could be a
Whoa.
wild and crazy place. I think I'd prefer it if you guys email us at support@learnvoiceacting.com. We'll take care of you. But if you want to reach out directly on Instagram, you can feel free to do so. It just might not be as quick. We're happy to answer any questions you have about the Academy, about the bundle, about the pricing. But until then, guys, I just want to close by saying, first, thank you for spending your time with me today. It's been really great kind of teaching. I'm super passionate about this industry. I'm super passionate about storytelling, right? And so I kind of want to leave you all with one more question, and that is, what is your story going to be? What is your story going to be? Whether it's voice acting or not. Who's going to tell it? Is it you? Or are you going to let somebody else tell your story? I don't know about you, but it's my sincere hope that you tell your story and you tell one that's authentic to you, and you help other people tell theirs. Because the world needs, like I said before, passionate, competent storytellers. And it starts here. It starts with you. And I cannot wait to find out what story you tell. Thanks, guys, so much. I can't wait to hear from you. I
That was
can't
really
wait
good.
for you to get behind the mic and see all that the Academy has to offer.
Mm.
Have a great day.
Inspirational, man. Wow. What you guys think of that? What you guys think of that? Well, that's pretty cool. I thought I'd see the Q&A questions here, but nope. Nope. Hold on. I gotta finish this sandwich up, and then we're gonna
The Giggleland game.
the Giggleland game. I'm gonna put some music on. Hold on. Oh man. Here.
Save up to 30%
This is an ad. Never mind.
until June 9th and see why Pods is America's #1 container moving company.
Okay. We're going to do something real quick. But before that, I gotta finish this up and yeah, take care of this. Hold on. Okay. So my plan here is now that we've learned how to we've learned the basics of voice acting, I feel like it's time to apply for a voice acting opportunity. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay. I'm on voices.com to find work. Oh, they have to censor this, man. Sign up in seconds, post a job. It's easy to find. Okay. Sign up for free. Agree voiceover career with jobs, match your skills. Get paid for your voice skills. We can come by creating packages on auditioning that match your skills. Access to dozens of jobs monthly. Whether you're privately invited or matched through your voice premium membership. Worry less, work more. 5,000 jobs each month? Wow. And more on getting paid to do it. As a free voice member, you're privately invited to jobs. Upgrade, automatically matched. With the Voices membership, you can also create your own packages. For clients to browse and buy, expand or focus on auditioning, not administration. That's like one of his key points. See what's in demand while honing your craft. As voice talent, you get insight into the types of voiceover jobs clients are posting, as well as access to tools. Hone your craft by creating packages in your strongest voiceover categories and auditioning. Okay. Upload demos in minutes. I gotta make a demo, right? Oh man. Work email. Wait. Okay. We're gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna sign up real quick. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Work email. I don't really have one. By checking this box, you can enter password. Okay. Boom, boom. What are you talking about? Wow, McCrispy strips? That's crazy. Nah, not today. No, not really. Thank you. Okay. Got sent my email. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Verify. Oh, wow. Tell us about your voice. English. Native language, English. Accents. I've been told that I gotta have an accent. Hold on. Let me get this on a big screen. Okay. So English and also Spanish a little bit. Accents. I've been told that I have like an accent, but like there's no specific accent to get pinned down to. I'm just gonna say North American general. Texas? Oh yeah. Nah. You want your voiceover job again? Can I be both? I want to do female and male voiceover jobs. Come on now. You can authentically perform it. Maybe teen, child, possibly. Hey mom, I want to go to school. Is that good? I feel like it's good. I didn't think. Oh. Okay, hold on. This is a bit. I didn't expect this to. Okay. Do I have to make it like authentic? I mean, dude, am I joking about this or not? I signed up for it. I put my real name. I signed up for it. I'm doing it right now. I actually watched the full voice acting video. And I still don't know if I actually want to do it. I'm going through with it anyway. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hey there. Nah. This is horrible. Which device is used for recording? The device you're currently using? Any additional microphones? But I'm gonna save this to myself, man. I'm not gonna play this. Hey there. My name. No, it played again. Okay. Man, that's embarrassing. Okay, hold on. I gotta. Let me see if it's good enough. I don't want to. Hold on. It was because there was a long pause in there. It's gonna be silent for a little bit, guys. Hold on. Okay. I redid it. Actually, let me see how it sounds. It's alright. It's alright. Wasn't as bad as the last one. I'm not letting you hear that. I'm not letting you hear that. You can hear the hey there part because it was different. Hey there. Sounds more normal. Still embarrassing. Enter make and model. I have a Mauno microphone. Hold on. Mauno microphone. What model do I have? I don't know. It's been a long time since I've actually considered this microphone. Wireless? No. Which one's the one I have? I have... Do they not sell it anymore? It's like... This one, yeah. Just this one. Mono, plug and play, computer. PC, podcast condenser, catalog, metal kit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's... Why is it more priced if it's pink or not? Strange. Oh. Could I just... Ah, I can't do it. Tag. Yeah. Okay, next. What's next? Now this is getting a little too personal. Okay, let's don't worry about that. Address. Oh yeah, apparently I'm gonna have to go to the military because Trump signed a thing that forces all 18-year-olds to go to the military. Hold on. That's actually what my mom sent me. Never mind, it isn't. New message.
The White House, President Donald J. Trump just announced a plan that could change life for every 18-year-old in America. In a surprising move, the president has signed an executive order requiring all young men and women to serve 4 years in the military when they turn 18. His reasoning? If we want to compete globally, we need a military as strong and prepared as other leading nations. Trump highlighted the importance of building a disciplined and resilient generation to safeguard America's future. Under this plan, individuals who can afford college or secure a full scholarship will be exempt, while others will be required to serve.
Wait, well,
News out of the Walker plan, individuals who can afford college or secure a full scholarship will be exempt, while others will be required to serve.
wow. 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 That's annoying. I gotta get on voice acting fast or else I'll be kicked out of voice acting. Country, state. Gotta make sure it's not. Okay. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Okay. Match the jobs. Select from curated list of jobs. Match your voice. Submit an audition. Audition for the job or jobs that you want to do. See, this is simple. I like that. Okay. So I wrote down the stuff that I learned from almost 2 hours of watching that. These are all my notes I took. All the notes. I only got the essentials. That's why. All the essentials. You can't read it. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Look, solidify your voice. Is that what it says? It's your sound. Solidify your sound. And the spectacular session. And, okay, so in the spectacular session, be easy to work with. And then it says, it talks about the connect, direct, perfect, collect. Oh, yeah. And then I also wrote down quantity leading to quality. Because remember when he was talking about the 100 pots versus 1 pot assignment? That's what I put down here. 100 pots versus 1 pot. So that's why I'm doing this in the first place. Because I gotta start somewhere. And it's gonna be bad. It's guaranteed to be bad. Because this is my first voice acting attempt at any type of job. Any type of voice acting job. So we gotta start somewhere. And it's gonna be terrible. But I'm prepared for that. So, let's get started. Record and upload your files and voices. Oh yeah. Receive payment when your recordings are approved by the client. Oh yeah. My first job is going to be a voiceover. Oh yeah. Live directing session recommended. Specify whether you provide live directions and what software you use. Add these recommended details to your skill to improve your chances of being found in search. Additional demos required. Adding 3 more demos greatly increase the chances of being matched with jobs. I'll do that maybe later. Public invites. Gain full access to upgrading to premium. Okay, I don't think so. Don't miss this deal. Customer support. So, Voices YouTube channel. So how do I? Oh, whoa. I guess I have to 5 pieces of information to be required. Hold on, what is this? What is this gonna be about? Maybe I shouldn't put my full name in there. I feel like it's too serious. About me, talent description. What are you talking about? Give me summary of your voiceover capabilities. Complete a skill ensures clients have all the information they need. Client list. Whoa. Any specific clients you work for? Need a voice acting, computer and software. Any specific hardware or software you're using? Special equipment used for voiceover work, sound mixers, proofing, amp. Turnaround time, your average turnaround time. Sorry. Live directed session. You know what, man? You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. Talent description. I can deliver a monotone, calming voice over, but am able to expand my range when needed. Fire, right? Wow. Which skills you're able to provide? Animation? Yeah. At least 100. Time to yap. I need to yap for this. Alright. Alright, get ready. Okay. Voice acting serious, man. Speaking of jobs. Oh boy. Speaking of jobs. Whoa. Part-time school painter. Wait, actually, that could be cool. Repainting, touches up, other light maintenance tasks. Employees must pass the background DFS medical. Physical form in order to be employed? What? Why not, man? Why not? That's my whole mindset now, man. Desired pay? 20. You offered 20, so I'm saying 20. Select country. Date available. What do you mean? What's today's date? May. Oh wait, no, it's gonna be the 6th now. It's gonna be June. $2025. Why not, man? Okay. Hold on. To May 2025. 2021, not 2020. Really? What? You being serious? What? That's so cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Alright. And that's about it for this. I'm going to apply for this too, because why not, man? Why not? And just erase my progress. That's cool. Kensington School. You're welcome. Alright, I can deliver monotone comic voiceover, but I'm able to expand my range when needed. Emotional. That's a weird way to put it. Man, who knew it would take this long to voice act? my equipment is viable and I would say good enough to be considered professional. Is that how you spell that? That's not how you spell professional. Professional. Yeah. Okay. Movie trailers? No. Online ad, podcasting, radio ad, television ad, voice assistant, video games, video narration, internal video, I don't know what that is, e-learning, documentaries, audiobooks, possibly. I mean, yeah, that's wrong. Voice data character. Didn't I already do this? Yeah. For live directed sessions. Yeah, sure. Live directed session softwares, you can use all the softwares you can. I can do. Yeah, I can do Zoom. Yeah. Turnaround time? Less than 24 hours. Computer software, I use Streamlabs OBS. Then I convert my MP4 files into MP3 with a website. Special equipment? No. Wow. Let's see. Let's see any jobs. Why is Elder Voice for trailer? I think you will. Can't be serious, man. I think this is a wise Elder Voice, don't you think? Not bad, actually. Huh? Blue Economy? What is that? What is the song? 39 responses, 99% voice match. Deadline June 7th. Huh. Can I see the responses? Blue Economy, what does that mean though? 15-second ad script. Oh, 15 seconds? Okay, that's cool. 15 seconds campaign teaser. That's cool. 300? Why is it 300 though? Featured. A faster response turnaround. Okay, wait. That's cool. Let's check out the wise old man. Are you serious? That's not fair. Wait, how do I find stuff, man? Do I have to ask around? Did I do all this for nothing? I actually did all this to nothing. For nothing. Wow. That's pretty, what a shame. How much is the premium? How much is the premium? I can't leave without doing something. I have to do something. Oh, sign up for free? Didn't I already do that? A year? A year? Free CEO optimize for profit, unlimited demos to showcase your skills, receive private invitations from job clients who find you while researching the voice website. Have peace of mind knowing that your payment is safely held. Didn't I already do this? I already did that yet. I already did this though. 2 pieces of information needed. Sure, man. Wait, what else is needed though? Wait. What else is needed? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Up to 10. I don't. What? How am I supposed to search for? Add these recommended details to your skill to improve chances of being. What am I? What else is there? Oh, client list. I don't have any clients. I haven't worked for any clients. Event. That should count, right? Special equipment? Oh. Soundproof mixers, preamp. I use an amplifier included in my software, if that counts. Sometimes it seems like... Okay, 3 additional demos. Oh, dude, I don't like that. Hey there. No. Hey there. Hey there, it's me. Fat Rat. I believe that a minimum demo is required. Oh wait. Okay, that's cool. Select one category this demo relates to: audiobooks, documentaries, online, blah 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 blah. Documentaries. Hold on, I could use one of my pre-recorded stuff, right? E-learning. I think the video narration is the best thing. Voice assistant, yeah, video narration is the best suited for my pre-recorded voices. Include your languages, industry expertise, and any other descriptions to get your demos the most views. English. Calming. I don't like these words that describe me. I don't like describing myself in this way. It's weird. I try to ignore it, but I'm literally typing it out right now, so. Industry expertise and any other descriptions to get your demos the most views. English. Monotone. And clear speaker. With consistent responses. Let's just say that. So there's some background, more information. That is so cool, man. I love YouTube Premium. That's cool, man. Alright. So there's some background information about the demo and how you contribute to it. I recorded this for a personal project of mine and did some research on the topic, which was Persona 3, and there, although there I always delivered line correctly on the third attempt. Got it. Alright, I'll be back. I'll get back to you guys. Hold on. I will talking about Persona 3. You know what? This will be public though, right? Obviously. So they'll see all the bloopers and everything. Yeah, why not? Yeah, talking about. Sorry. That's almost megabyte. Okay, yeah, cool. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Now I'm entering my bed. Language, English, accents, styles, aloof, I'd say aloof, antagonistic, annoyed, animated, I'd say annoying, maybe articulate, definitely not, man, I keep messing up during that recording. Hold on, how to get rid of this? Attentive, authentic, I'd say authentic, yeah, because messing up is authentic, man. It's part of part of being human, you know. Bilingual, believable, awkward, I'd say awkward, man. Most definitely awkward. Bold, bossy, brave, broken speech, brooding, I'd say brooding, unfortunately. Caring, calming, I'd say calm, not calming. Cartoon, casual, chipper, classy, cocky, comforting, commanding, concerned, conversational, crackly, creepy, I'd say cynical, maybe creepy, I don't know. Up to 5 roles that were just released, action star, airhead, maybe airhead, like a alpha male, you can't be serious, I don't care, Bob's Furniture. Let's do this one. Yeah. Some calming music. I can play this on guitar. Buddy, businessman. Construction worker, cowboy, cowgirl, criminal, damsel in distress, diva. Whoa. Notification from chat. Good morning, man. Caught a bit of your recent stream and enjoy the vibe. Do you have regular streaming schedules? I'd love to tune in next time. Let's hang out in Discord. Get chill about it. Add me up. It sounds cool. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that. I'm kind of doing something right now, though. What was that? Thanks for the follow, I think. Did you follow? I think that was nice. Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm kind of signing up for a voice acting thing right now. I'll get back to you though, most definitely. If I don't forget. If I forget, I'm sorry. But yeah, back to this. Hide delay, chat delay. Dude, I gotta, cause that isn't good. Font size. And now it disappeared, I'm sorry. I gotta... I'm sorry, your chat just disappeared. You know what, I'll have this color changed. Let's have it blue. Oh yeah, blue chat. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, yeah, the chat's now blue. Deal with it, guys. Deal with it. Okay. Airhead, I'd say... Gangster, geek, girl next door. Heckler, henchman, hero, hillbilly, hip-hop, hippie. IT guy. Lawyer, possibly lawyer. Boss, buddy, bully. Barbershop quartet. Oh yeah. Mad scientist, millennial, misunderstood villain, mobster, monster, motivational speaker, narrator. I'd say narrator. I think. Reporter. I'd say reporter in a way. Salesperson. Robot. Most definitely robot. Yeah. Guy next door? What does that even mean? Interviewer? I'd say interviewer, possibly. Video will be automatically transcribed in order to improve its discoverability in search engines. If it is transcribed in high accuracy, then it may appear in the public. This may take up to 5. I didn't know it was talking about the demo. With consistent readings, I'd say. Readings. I'd say... Okay. So now, do I sign up for jobs now, finally? I guess not. How do I... See, I can't. Spanish lets him neutral accent voiceover. Disney princess, I'm assuming. Disney Plus, maybe? Like what? Dude, I don't want to do this, man. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, man. Like, do you really have to pay to actually... I mean, it makes sense, but like, can I not have... There has to be a market for amateurs, right? Awarded, answered, archived. Like, there's no way. I'm not doing that again. Like, even if I... Dude. Like, why? It's not letting me in. How do I do this? Should I go in Fiverr, man? Should I go in Fiverr? So I just gave all the... Do I have to wait for someone to contact me? Search for talent or packages. Let's search talent, man. Why not? Let's see some e-learning, English, middle-aged, North American.
Atherosclerosis develops as vascular endothelial cells express adhesion molecules that capture monocytes on the arterial wall. At the same time, changes in the permeability of the arterial wall allow the entry and retention of LDLC particles and monocytes. As monocytes enter the arterial wall, they engulf LDLC particles and become lipid-filled macrophages which aggregate as fatty streaks, the hallmark of early atherosclerosis and plaque development.
That was really good. Wow. No wonder 5 stars. Let's see.
You know, ordering pizza 3 times a week isn't lazy. It's pro-business. Why do we go out?
The audio changed, but that's fine. I'm sorry. That was really good, but I don't want to hurt my ears. The background noise is too loud. I'm not doing that either, sorry.
Trying to get an appointment to...
That's really good, but I think it's doing too much. I think you're doing too much. It's not 5 stars for no reason, though. Let's go to the 1 stars then. Rating? No, I mean like reviews. No, like no. How do I go to the worst ranked ones? I mean like, dude, I gotta get to the bad ones. I wanna see the bad ones. Are there any bad ones? There are so many voice actors. Wow. There has to be like, how much talent is there? 69,000, man. That's crazy. Yo, can I get to like, can we start from worst, please? I wanna, oh man, I wanna start from the worst. Like worst rated, like it's subjective, to be fair. Hold on.
My son Ian was diagnosed with a brain tumor at the age of 16 months.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Hope until St. Jude rescued us. I mean, they saved him. To this date, you know, we are 12 years into this journey.
I'm sorry. Man, there's so much talent here. Hold on, let's see. Video narration, engineering, conversational, engaging. That does sound engaging, yeah.
When it comes right down to it, engineers are creators.
That's a perfect ad voice, man. That's so... Only 2 reviews too? Dude.
To protect the climate, we're changing.
How are they so good? Amusing, fast-paced, playful.
Λοιπόν, το έχουμε εκλεκτό αιγαίο σε...
This is really cool, man. It's so cool.
Hey guys, do we have to do this? I mean, if we get caught in here, we're gonna be in so much trouble with the teachers. Can we just, I don't know, can we just go now?
Not bad, not bad. Man, they're like adding like background noise and everything. Wow, they're really good. Man, this like the guy was right. This career's like seems so much fun. Bringing stories to life. Man. Emotional. Yeah. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to the other talent that wasn't considered bad. Like, I gotta find, like, 1 line, 3 emotions and actors that was in relational range.
My journey has been long and I am thirsty. May I please just have a glass of water before I place my order? The journey has been long and I am thirsty. May I please just have a glass of water before I place my order? The journey has been long and I am thirsty. May I please just have a glass of water before I place my order?
Was that supposed to be like desperation or like cheery? I'm not sure.
Few places capture the magic of New England.
How these guys are so good, man. It's so crazy. Kevin Andrews. Verified by the Voices team. Well, we've got an industry plan here.
Rhoda turns car repair into, well, whatever you want.
Still really good. Hold on, let's see, like, voice gender. Let's do male, young adult, role, airhead. Yeah, let's see it. Ken, okay. Jazz Patrick, animated history fit.
This can't be real. It's a catastrophe. My life is ruined.
Is there like a more laid back one? How would you even search for that though? Like Lone Ranger? Let's see.
It's not the 2-horsepower motor, the all-terrain tire.
Yeah, 2 ear piercing one. For me, it's not bad or anything, but upbeat, friendly millennial.
Say, Bergman's. We've been looking after Chicago's pearly whites for 3 decades at Bergman's Family.
Dude, these guys are so good. Man, there's so much like talent. It's amazing. Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't attempt to do my own. I couldn't attempt to do my own voiceover. What a shame. I bet you guys would have loved to see me attempt to voice act for a job, but oh well. Signed up for nothing. Wow, what a shame. But yeah, that's it. I'd say that's it for today. So, if you liked it, thank you very much. Thank you very much. If you didn't like it, amen. This is a one-time thing, to be honest. This is a one-time thing. We'll probably... What are we gonna do next stream? What are we gonna do next stream? Should we go back on VR chat? Should we go back on VR chat? I mean, I don't really have any other ideas, to be honest. Yeah, I don't really have any other ideas, to be honest. Yeah, I have no other ideas to... Also, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about the VR chat videos that I post. Not a lot. Not you don't know what I mean, but someone disliked the video of me trying to find a job in VR chat. It was pretty funny. I don't know. Maybe I did something offensive there. I forgot. 7 hours and 30 minutes. But yeah. Got off track, but yeah, that's about it for me for today. Should I stream tomorrow, guys? Should I stream tomorrow? Should I? I don't know. But yeah. You can do what you want, and I'll see you guys in the next stream. Bye-bye.